Brandon.
Mel, good to see you.
New guy.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Travis Pearman here with us tonight.
Yeah, the infamous Travis
Yeah.
Spearman.
So Travis is most famous for his beard, and then secondly most famous for his hair, and thirdly most famous for
His rhetoric.
His rhetoric and
Yeah.
run at City Commission.
Yeah, really.
I thought it might be the Pee Wee Herman post that I was most famous for. But,
Only among the white elitists in town.
right, yeah. That certainly got their attention, didn't it?
Beer?
Oh, I'm okay, thank you.
Little something for you?
Yeah, so fine sponsors at Duval Airland threw one of these at us tonight and said, you guys are always talking about a little something something. How about some beers called a little something something? And I said, sure.
That girl's so hot on there.
Oh, yeah.
But she's obviously a snowflake chick, so. Retro.
Retro chick.
That's cool. Wonder if she can take a punch. That's how you judge a girl.
Oh, my God.
So what do you want to talk about, Travis? You just showed up
Oh,
tonight
man.
saying, man, I gotta get on the show.
Since you're in the neighborhood.
There's no shortage of things to talk about.
Um,
Coronavirus.
Oh.
They're canceling everything.
Yeah,
That's why we're drinking this kind of beer.
that's right.
We don't want to get the bug.
Corona's beer, you can't drink that.
Yep.
If we had some Lyme disease, go with our Coronas.
Yeah. Some Corona. Yeah. Well,
So-
they canceled hockey. They canceled March Madness.
NBA,
Disneyland closed down.
even the local wrestling state wrestling tournament up in Topeka, they shut it down. So the Kansas State Health Department shut it down.
Now, is this grossly overblown, or are they doing the right thing?
I seen some statistics today that showed that the coronavirus had 1.2 billion media mentions.
And how many victims?
Yeah, well, just
Four.
so far, a few, and that was worldwide. Whereas SARS, which was the next largest pandemic, epidemic, whatever you want to call it, it had 25 million. So this has got 50 times more media mentions
When you
and
said
hype.
larger, SARS was far more pandemic than this, isn't it?
I don't think so. I don't think it reached the number of countries affected as Corona has.
Oh, no
but
kidding.
I don't think so. I could be wrong. I think the one thing I think is interesting though is the media jumping all over this during an election year, during a lot of the debates.
Well, how does the coronavirus have anything to do with an election at all?
Well, when you got two terrible candidates for the Democratic Party, and you
Yeah,
got
keep away from them.
Yeah, and you don't want Joe getting any more news coverage than he has to.
You want him off the news as much as you possibly
Yeah.
can, because they're
Limit
going
their-
to his mouth.
That's right. They're even talking about possibly canceling debates over this. So who knows? Who knows? And
Well, that would be convenient because
yeah.
Trump debates either one of those two guys. He'll ruin it.
Oh, steamroll him.
Oh, Trump, badass.
Yep.
He
He
is.
is.
BA.
He is a badass.
So you think if they go and cancel everything from an NBA tournament or a March Madness tournament to the NBA to the hockey, heard something about baseball today, which it ain't even quite baseball
Right. They're
season.
pushing it back 2 weeks for opening day.
Local events, do you think this is the ploy to get enough things where they're going to cancel it to where they'll push apart the election till November?
I don't know, but it's certainly having a political effect because it's weakening the economy, and those things will directly reflect come later in the year, come more close to election time, Trump's record. They're going to use this as some sort of way. How did Trump respond to this? And it's all going to be conveniently Trump's fault, but everybody knows that China made it and released it. So.
So it's factual information that China didn't.
Well, I mean, the university, I think it was Beijing University, released a study that sure leads you to believe that might be the case.
So Beijing, they I can't believe
Who-
they shine a light on themselves.
Well, I don't think it was a direct. They didn't say, "Hey,
So
this
some-
level 4 lab released this," but I think they were talking about containment procedures and how to keep things from escaping from labs. Which that is the only level 4 bio lab I believe they have in the whole country.
Wow.
And they've already been caught previously. Scientists from the lab have been imprisoned in China because they've actually been selling animals they've experimented on, and instead of incinerating them, they sell them to the meat markets for lots of money. So there you go. I mean, that's kind of a clear, direct
I played
line.
that video game, Duke Nukem. It's about as we escaped the lab.
I do think that the media is overreacting a bit, but then again, I don't know. I mean, it's scary, right? The good thing is kids don't seem to be getting it yet, and if they do, they don't show any serious symptoms.
So can you overreact?
Of course, you can overreact to anything. A lot of people think I
mean, you don't-
overreacted
but
with
you
my
don't
Pee Wee
know-
Herman post.
But you don't know it's an overreaction until after the fact, after it's all smoke's clear. Then, you overreacted.
Only
Until
time
then,
will
then.
tell, right? And
So nobody's really overreacting. They
well,
might be.
when you consider the mortality rate of coronavirus with the numbers that we know, it's not nearly as bad as like Ebola, and it's not nearly as contagious, but it does lead
And the
to
death is not nearly as horrific either.
but
Ebola was a horrible.
dying's dying. It sucks any way you go, but
But we're all gonna die.
yes, we are. I just don't want to suffocate to death because of a dumbass Chinese lab technician.
Well, they're strangling us anyway. What's
Yeah,
hastening
yeah.
the eventual end?
Well, and the next step is going to be it's now politically incorrect to blame China for this.
Oh.
Yeah, if it's not already, it'll get there quick. It's
So
not China's fault.
that would be overreacting. So the only thing overreacting would be to blame somebody. or
Right,
something.
yeah.
Anything else is well within the pale.
Apparently.
Oh, excellent.
Yep.
Excellent. Now I get it. Finally, I understand.
Oh, shit.
So how do we know we don't have it right now?
We don't. You don't. Because you can have it for up to 14 days. The average is 5. I spent an hour on the phone with our City Cali Health Department guy the other day.
You spent an hour.
I spent an hour on the phone talking to
What
this guy.
the hell?
Well, because I want to find out the scoop.
but
I mean,
what does he know?
he knows more than me and you and Brandon.
Oh, really? You think he does?
Well, I think he works in that line of that's his profession.
It's a propaganda-driven. Anything it's just like disaster prepared.
Well, he certainly
you cannot
has.
be prepared for a disaster. That's what I call them. Disaster. It's not an inconvenience. It's a disaster. You can't be prepared for it, or it wouldn't be a disaster.
Do you have
So he knows what he's told to tell you, and if he even knows that.
right? But he also has more reliable statistics on disease and previous diseases and
Well,
infectious
you
disease.
have probably access to as many statistics. Anyway, I am always skeptical.
I'm
of
skeptical
any
about everybody.
government,
Yeah,
anything
sure.
that tells you anything about anything.
Sure.
Because as far as I'm concerned, they only know what they're told to repeat.
Yeah.
As far as
But at some point, we have to have a discriminate thought, and my discriminate thought process says that I think that he's probably on point when he tells me that the contagion of the disease, while it can be transmitted for up to 2 months now, it's looking maybe 35 days after you're cured, after you're no longer showing symptoms, and 2 weeks before you become symptomatic.
So if that's actually the case, why would you quit going to work or quit going to events? Because
Everybody's going to have it anyway.
You're going to have it at some point
Yeah.
anyhow.
It's like the
And
flu; everybody gets
You
it.
don't know if you have it, and you don't know if you're contagious, and you don't know if you're,
and say,
involuntarily.
do you know if you did have it?
Not necessarily.
So it may have come and gone. You didn't even know it.
That's right.
Well, then what are we so scared of?
Well, that's a good question. And only a certain percentage of the people that actually have it actually end up with pneumonia, and only a certain percentage of those actually die from it.
So the pneumonia's the killer, not the.
It's pneumonia, but it does cause quite a shock to your organs. So if you have pulmonary and other
They
conditions,
said if you have cardio problems as it is, if you have any type of heart issues, it's really hard on you. But if you're under 40, it's like statistically almost impossible to die from it. I mean,
So no government official is going to get it because they're all heartless. That'd be correct.
what about all the cold-hearted bitches?
right?
They're all going to live. Shit. Good point.
Not going to happen, is it?
So the only one around here is susceptible is me.
Yeah. Yep.
You know what? I didn't like it that much.
No,
anyway.
wait. I ran and I didn't win. You're the only two real politicians in the room. So I'm the only
So
one.
I'm cold-hearted enough. Well, all right, I'm safe too.
Touche.
Bam. Good.
Well, so much on coronavirus.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we're over that. Because we could all have it right now. And
We could.
cheers.
Yep.
I'll drink to that.
I'll plug the sponsor. A little something from Duval's.
So anything else on Corona? Because I'm ready to bounce out of here on this and shoot something else.
How could you I mean, how can you talk about Corona?
It's like talking about the flu. It's never been a great conversation for me, but this is just such media extravaganza. It's,
So we're talking about the media extravaganza.
I
Not
think
really.
I mean,
The
isn't that really
The
what's going on
bizarreness
here?
of the whole thing, not really the sickness itself, because it's actually maybe extremely contagious.
Yeah.
But so are allergies. And I'll bet more people died from allergies.
But
than ever.
to the point of extremely contagious, I think it only ranks like a 2 or 3 on the contagion scale. Like if compared to like
contagion. You use that word twice now. Is that actually a word, contagion?
I don't know. You want me to look
No,
it up?
no, sounds good. We'll run with that.
I think it is. Pretty sure.
Well,
Contagion's a word.
Sure.
the
That's
contagion
right.
sounds
It's right
very,
next to the Cajuns.
sounds very teagus.
Yeah.
To be contagious.
Yes.
We gotta go. No more.
All right, my friends.
Episode 35ish.
Later.
See ya.
Auf Wiedersehen.